Hey, this is Cavallo from datingadviceguru.com, and I'm going to come out right off the bat and tell you that this is not going to be like other videos and articles that give you that same cosmo bit of advice about how to grab a guy's attention, because that's what we're talking about today. I'm going to tell you how to grab his attention. I'm going to give you 7 secrets to do it. And hey, before we get started, do the big 3. You know this by now, right? Got to like and subscribe to the videos. Got to make sure you get them. And of course, turn on notifications, the little bell indicator by the button. And leave me your questions and comments below. I check them out to figure out what to do my next video on. So we're talking about how to grab his attention. And I'm telling you right now, you have to get this kind of advice from a man. Women can't tell you this one because, well, guys understand this deeply and completely. And of course, I'm that man, right? There are a lot of articles out there that tell you to pose sexy, dilate your pupils, wear red. While that's true that those things can be interesting to read about, it's not going to give you any edge when you want to be able to grab a guy's attention. Sometimes you just want his attention back on you after you lost it, and that's even more important. I'll bet you'd like an unfair advantage against other women out there. You just don't know how to really make him see you. Now, before I give you these tips, there's something really important you have to know, and that is how to grab his attention, the big mistake that women make. Women tend to attract attention instead of attracting interest. Now, it's one thing to have him notice you and another thing completely to get him feeling emotional desire for you. You have to know this difference and know how to make him really feel it. Some women think it's enough to wear the right clothes, push their boobs up to their neck, reveal some leg. Some women think it's enough to wear a really fragrant perfume. Some women think they should laugh loud or act more visible. Some women think they have to flip their hair, you know that one? Or bat their eyelashes, lick their lips, or act seductive. In reality, guys understand these. We know these methods. All of those methods will only make you look like you're trying too hard. Women everywhere, they get seen by men. That's not hard, okay? But you have to ask yourself, how are you being seen? How do you want to be seen? All right, let's jump right into tip number 1, know your target. Look, you might think this bit of advice sounds a bit mercenary, but you need to know something about this guy that other women don't. Men are all too familiar with the women who only seem to want to have men worship at their feet. If he's a little older than, say, a college frat boy, well, you're going to want to be smarter than the average girl to get him. You see, most men, not boys, I'm talking about men here, want to know that they are actually of interest to you. And the way to let him know that you're interested in him is to get a little information about him up front. Now, if this is a guy you've just met, you want to ask him questions about his life. Find out about what makes him tick, what are his hobbies, where has he traveled, what drives him, and what motivates him. If you ask the usual small talk questions, you're going to bore him in like 60 seconds flat. Now, if this is a guy in your social circle, you should also try to learn more about him from his social media presence. This is an insider tip. You got to really get your intel. Check out his Facebook page. What's he into? Who does he know? Any common friends you have between you? What's his personality type? You can always find stuff, and especially look at the pictures. Those tell a lot about him. Tip number 2 is to look at the next layer down. Look, high quality men don't grow on trees. If you've ever heard a woman complain about where are all the good men, you know this intimately, and it seems like all the good ones are taken, right? And there's a gladiator arena where you have to fight for the scraps. Some people call that arena singles bars, but yeah, the truth is there are tons of good men out there, but no shortage of women to blame him for not being straight out of some romantic comedy movie. I'll give you a little hint here. A lot of guys feel the same way about women, that we'd like to change a few things here and there. We just don't need to in order to be happy in the relationship. In order to get these guys, or uncover the hidden gem that's probably in the guys you're already meeting, is that you got to be willing to tap into the next layer down. What I mean by this is that you have to get into a guy at a deeper level than, what do you do for work? Where are you from? What do you... What? Oh, yeah, I'm still doing a video, right? No, there's no shortage of small talk out there, okay? Let's be honest about that. So you need to go a few steps deeper in conversation than that. Once you know more about him, it's easier to figure out what motivates him, what drives him, and what makes him tick. That's what you got to learn. Tip number 3 is beware the needy switch. Now, the needy switch is something I talk about when it comes to your posture with men. If you perform the needy switch, what you're doing is you're seeking the attention from him as a way to make you feel better about yourself. It's really a way to distract yourself from the fact that you're not really looking for him. You're looking for a guy that will pump up your opinion of you. That's where most neediness starts out in relationships. When you're out there in the dating world, you're going to take some bumps and bruises. It's part of the whole love and relationship thing. And as I like to say, don't hate the player and don't hate the game either. Instead, rewrite the rules so you're going to win. Don't look for attention to satisfy you. Look for his attention so that you know you have a quality guy on the line. You use a special bait that attracts the right kind of guy, the right kind of fish, not every minnow in the pond, okay? Tip number 4 is plug in. The fact is that higher energy women will get more attention from men than low energy wallflowers. It's always true, but that doesn't mean you have to change your personality type from introvert to extrovert. That's what a lot of women think, and that's not true. First of all, that won't work. You won't change your personality type. It doesn't work like that. And second of all, you just be exhausted trying to live out that lie. All you have to do is broadcast your aliveness. Now, what does that even mean? Well, you only need to be able to talk about positive topics. Exude a little more animation in your body language. You know, move your body a little bit. Positive topics are things you can talk about that don't drag the conversation into the boring zone. So here's some examples. Uplifting news, thought-provoking ideas, plans for the future, something new in your life that's worth sharing. Okay, those are some pretty easy things to talk about. Well, here's a few things you should not talk about. Politics, you've probably heard that one before. Seriously, stay away from it until at least date number 2 where you can start to maybe hint around it. Family drama, don't talk about your family strife if you can avoid it. Save that for when you actually get them to meet your family. Money, his, yours, or anyone else's. Past relationships, especially marriages, okay? Keep that off the table. And religion, pretty obvious that one could get heated, you know? Keep the talk positive. Tip number 5, let your fingers do the talking. And no, I'm not saying you need to sign language him from across the room, although that could be an interesting way to get his interest. I'm saying you should, at some point, touch him lightly during your conversation. Now, it doesn't matter if this is your first or your 50th date. Touch works with men. Okay, it sends a delicious jolt of excitement into a guy just to feel a woman's touch. This is a big reason why so many men get gropey with women. We're enchanted with you, and yet we feel held back at a distance. So if you can reach out and lay a hand on him, on his arm for a short moment, maybe 2-3 seconds at the most, and then pull it away, I guarantee you, he will remember you. You'll get his attention. Tip number 6, be a social sleuth. Now, I have to admit that the one thing I find rather daunting about social media is also the one thing that you can use to your advantage and your benefit. If you're friends with a guy on Facebook, for example, you can gather a lot of good intel by just looking at his posts, his friends, and so on. Then you can use that information to hit him up again later. You should really pay attention because you have some incredible insight there at your disposal. A man will be guarded in social conversations with new people, but online, he'll post his heart out, hoping that somebody will read it. So take note if he says something particularly interesting online and then hit him up about it later on. He'll be impressed that you are actually paying attention to him and that you remembered. That's very rare for guys. Tip number 7, ask for help. It's no secret that guys love helping women. Mind you, we don't want to be your janitor or moving guy, but we don't mind helping you out with things. It's part of our genetic code. So look around your house or your apartment the next chance you get. I'll bet there's something there that you either don't know how to fix, but you just don't want to bother with, or you've got something that's needing repair that you have no clue what to do. Maybe an old iPod or a wonky TV picture that needs adjustment. Simple tip here. Ask him for advice first. Just ask him what he thinks you should do to take care of that problem. And then pay attention to his instructions. Part of this equation is how genuinely you seem to be taking his advice. The problem could also be a social situation that maybe you want his advice on. Ask him what he would do if he were you. Now, if he seems amenable to it and interested at all, then by all means, you can ask him to come over sometime, help you fix that TV image, whatever it might be. A Fix-It challenge is a great way to bait a guy into helping you out, because chances are he was waiting for an opportunity to get to see you again. He just needs the opportunity dangled in front of him. Now, I've got a few bonus tips on the site at datingadviceguru.com. If you want to get the additional stuff I don't have the time to cover here, by all means, go on over and check it out. But I got one final bonus tip for you here. Now, what you gonna do? Do you know what to do with his attention when you get it? This is the key differentiation between women who get it and women who don't. This is also the #1 problem that women have after they figure out how to get a guy's attention. Because once you've got it, what are you going to do with it? It's so easy to lose that attention if you don't know how to keep it on you and get him taking the next step. Now, most women who are starting to date a guy just want him to stay focused on her long enough for them to fall in love, right? Instead of him ghosting you or losing interest. Well, you don't have to jump through hoops to keep a guy's interest. You just need to know what makes men pay attention to one woman and why he doesn't pay attention to others. Remember, any woman can get a guy's attention. All you gotta do is just say his name out loud and you've got it, right? But what you have to be able to do is turn his attention into interest in you. That's a big difference. And that means you have to know how to trigger his obsession and focus on you. That's something I can show you how to do at my site. But guess what? I got a cool thing for you to do. Go check it out. It's my What Dating Age Are You quiz. That's right. If you've ever wondered how guys see you and how they look at you, this is going to be a big clue as to how to get his attention for you. Check out and find out what your dating age is. See right below me there? Yeah, that's right. Go to that link. Go to datingfire.com, dating age. datingfire.com/dating age. And wait, hold on, before you go, I know you're ready to go on to the next video. I know you're gonna go through every video I've got, but first, make sure you like and subscribe to this one, of course, to this series, and turn on your notifications so you know when the next one comes out next week, and make sure you comment or ask a question you might have in the comments below. I'll check it out. Hey, this is Cavallo from datingfire.com/dating age. That's right, go on over, get that quiz. As always, live and love with passion.